InnerQuest explores various pathways through which you can connect with the infinite wisdom of the universe and apply it to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. This program, featuring accomplished practitioners, educators, and authors, is provided by Infinity Foundation, an innovative center for holistic studies and research. We invite you to share this journey with us.
Hello, welcome to InnerQuest. My name is Jay Stone, your host for today, and our guest is the lovely Bobbie Stuart.
Hello, Jay.
Well, I've got to be honest. Bobbie is my cousin.
Yep.
And you're teaching at Infinity, and I had nothing to do with that, and I had nothing to do with you getting on the show. Our booker, Stacy Steinberg, booked you, so I'm so grateful that you're here. And every time we talk and you show me your artwork, I learn more about you and art and life. So I'm really looking forward to this. And of course, you've graced our set with your wonderful artwork. Bobbie is a visionary artist, writer, spiritual teacher, counselor, creator, and leader of sacred ceremonies. Bobbie has been a faculty member of Chicago's Columbia College for over 20 years. Bobbie joins sacred healing practices to visionary outcomes in various modes of transformative work.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the special experiences that shaped your life?
Oh, my. Well, gee. Well, one thing is that when I was 4 years old, my grandma died, and she visited me, and then I just started realizing I was different. And then I had a near-death experience as a child at a swimming pool, and then I just really got a sense of God, the place where we all
I didn't know you had. I had a near-death experience too as a child.
Maybe it runs in the family.
Well, thank God we're here to talk about it.
Yeah, right. And after that, I just felt, very connected to the divine. And although many crazy and amazing things happened, that still became the underpinning for everything. At 18, I was homeless. I was a beatnik, and
we're talking what, the 60s?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went on to go to art school at the Art Institute of Chicago and live in Europe and for several years.
Did you study in Europe as well?
No, but I had a lot of babies there. I came back from Europe a few years later, and I had two children, one on the way. And that was with my first husband, and we then went on to have some amazing adventures. So, I don't know. So many things to tell.
Were you always good at art? Were you natural?
Unnatural, yes. I as soon as I could hold a crayon, I began. Mm-hmm. And even when I was in grade school, I would win contests for the Brotherhood posters for Brotherhood Week. Mm-hmm. Because, I don't know, there, and also the Halloween shop window painting. Mm-hmm. I loved that. And then in high school, I was an art major. And then...
in high school?
Yeah.
I didn't know you picked majors in high school.
Well, they let me be an art major. Probably because I couldn't do any math, so they're like, we better put her in the arts.
Okay. And did you end up finishing your degree at the Art Institute?
I did. When I came back from Europe, and after many experiences, I did. I finished a BFA there.
Did you meet any of your fellow classmates go on to fame and fortune?
Oh, yeah. Well, Ed Paschke and Tony Baroni and...
Ed Paschke, so most people would know.
Yeah, many of them. Many, many.
I hear they're opening up a museum, a Paschke museum.
Yeah? Yeah, Eleanor Spies Ferris, Jim Nutt, Gladys Nilsson, which I don't know. I can't keep naming these people, yeah.
Okay. And what is your definition of a visionary artist?
Well, a visionary artist Well, one who has visions and the divine really comes through, and that's becomes what's expressed.
Is this
And
an example?
it's an example, and it's about being a vehicle, being a vessel for colors, light, information, and then it comes through.
Okay. And can you explain why this is a piece of visionary art?
Well, because it's multidimensional. It has the ability to like go into different dimensions, and as you really look at it or live with it, it opens the space up to be a, experience of soul essence, really. It brings you to a place in you of, ah.
And now, is this something you have hanging in your home, or?
Sure, yeah. And it's good feng shui. It, changes the energy of a space. And
It certainly brings light to it.
It brings light and balance. It pulls in a center.
And
So,
I'm pretty ignorant about art, so what type of canvas or paints is this?
well, it's acrylic paint on canvas. It's, common. And I just work in layers.
And so do you start with sketches and before you do something on a canvas?
Not exactly a sketch. I just start with a structure, something that's given, and then I just begin playing with it, as if a child were playing, just letting
While
that
it's
happen.
just right there on the canvas?
Yeah, but I start lightly. Well, sometimes I start with a lot of paint going around if I feel the motion is circular.
So really you're just using a flow style of painting.
Yeah, except this is not a flow. I mean, it's not a movement style of flow. It's a flow that's internally expressed.
That's what I meant. There's this University of Chicago psychology professor who wrote the book Flow, the Ultimate Human Experience.
It is the ultimate human experience.
Yeah, yeah. And when did you paint this?
I painted it maybe about, 4 or 5 years ago, I think. Maybe
It looks
5.
so fresh.
Well, it always will. That's the thing, because it's the light. It brings the divine lights, the frequency of divine light.
And is there like a fish bowl or something in here? I can't tell.
Well, it's supposed to be a container of conception and growth on an altar. And then it's rising up with energy of life.
And I assume you meditate?
Yeah. I've been meditating since 1970. And I began meditating with the Ramakrishna Order monks for 11 years. And
What do you mean, you sit with the monks or you live with the monks?
well, I didn't live with them, but I would go to their place of employment.
Monastery?
Yeah, the place where the center where they lived,
Uh-huh.
and had classes, and I studied with them and had a first initiation into meditation in 1970, and then that was Raja Yoga, and began meditating and learned also Hatha Yoga at that time, and began teaching Hatha Yoga and meditation for many years there, and in other places. I've taught at a lot of human development centers, even in Greece, in an island.
Oh, that must have been beautiful.
It was wonderful, and it was run by people and the property owned by people in England, and then people would come from all over Europe and occasionally from America, and we would have all kinds of wonderful things in the program. And I would
What year are we talking about?
Well, I did it for 6 consecutive years in the summer.
Would you take your children with you?
No. I would just go by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so what role does your meditation play in producing your visionary art?
Well, really my meditation, which has become internalized, plays a role in everything in my life. And the alignment with the divine is installed and gives me great ability to be at one and to help people to find that in themselves and to understand the way life is working for them and to help to do healing work and blessing work, ceremonies.
All right. And you're also a writer.
Yes.
And would you like me to read something you
I
wrote?
would. I would like if you would.
I will do that in a minute, but were you always a writer too?
You know, I really didn't know I was a writer. I knew I was a visual artist, and I was very surprised. Once when I was an undergraduate, I handed in a paper about my grandpa to the instructor.
The grandpa who's
the brother
to my grandmother, okay.
Right. And then the teacher said, this was really good, A+, it should be published. And I'm like, yeah, right. You probably say that to everybody. But then it turned out later, I kept hearing that, and I thought, well, gee, I really ought to try writing. By the time I got to graduate school, I began to realize that I could write.
And by the way, did you name this picture?
Well, this is Sky Altar.
Okay. Enough said. And do you think your classes at the Art Institute help prepare you for this, or you think it's more about your life's journey that?
Oh, definitely my life's journey has prepared me for everything. It's, the very just rudiments can only give you just so much, and then just the whole journey of your life just gives you a trajectory and a passion.
All right. Well, I'm going to hold this up to the camera just so that the audience could maybe get there's a really nice picture here. And you told me earlier that you didn't do the picture. You have a friend who...
No, my friend Mariam Morrison is doing the digital art for the book that I'm producing of my spiritual, inspirational writings. And there's, couple more pages there. And we should have the book ready, hopefully in a few months.
All right. Do you want... I'll read what's on top here.
If you want to.
Be brave, holy is this life, the great charade, treacherous road to ascension, sacred journeys run us ragged, chasing our tails, praying for a morsel of tenderness. Liberation is earned, not given. Surrender to your solitude. In silence, discover mystic secrets. Drop deep into caverns of grace. Sit in stillness of your own radiance. Be filled with the light of God. So appropriate. And your friend who's doing this, do you you give her the words and you say sketch, or do you
Yeah, I give her the words and she vibes on them, and we have a very close relationship. I used to write articles for her magazine for a whole year, so
you are a writer.
I guess I'm a writer. Yeah.
What kind of magazine?
A spiritual magazine.
Oh, okay. Monthly Aspectarian by any chance?
No, it's online. It's called the Eden Magazine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we've got an intelligent audience. They can look up Eden Magazine.
The Eden Magazine. Yeah.
Okay. And are you teaching classes at Infinity?
Yeah, I'm teaching many classes. I taught drawing from the soul and mandala class.
Well, let's talk about what's drawing for the soul about.
Well, that's where I have the students really go into their inner self, really find that place where they just feel free, and then bring that through onto their paper, or onto their, and use their materials in a way that they're constantly going back, like going to the well for more, grace, more water. And then, that was really a lovely class recently this spring. And the mandala class was really well attended, Everyone always enjoys that.
And so do you draw mandala? Is that the main art medium?
Yeah, we create mandalas. Each person gets to create at least one. Mm-hmm.
Because I remember seeing monks do it with like sand, and then
Well.
when they're all done, it's like, whew, and just,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
just,
no, they took theirs home.
yeah. Okay. And any other classes? You teaching any classes with your husband, Doug?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of things together. In fact, I have a retreat coming up in a couple of months, and it's called Living in the Flow of Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be at a private home on the lake near Kenosha,
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin, and it'll be a small retreat, but I'm going to start doing more of those. And
Are you going to use artwork?
well, we may use some artwork, but there's just so much to cover.
Yeah, you know, I was just, as I said that, I'm going, maybe I should have used the word art therapy, but really, artwork and art therapy to me are like interchangeable.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I do art, expressive arts therapy also, because I have a master's degree in interdisciplinary arts, where it's movement and sound
Mm-hmm.
and writing and it you know, visual art. It's all drama. It's all
Going to the
together.
next level.
Yeah, I mean, it's the full expression of the individual, and so that's really what I am. I'm an interdisciplinary artist.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of interdisciplinary,
yeah.
can I hold this up and?
Yes. Well, that actually is a soul portrait of someone who I did a soul reading of.
There we go.
This wonderful woman, and then she gave me a picture of her, and then I proceeded to create what I saw around her in my reading, and what the elements of her that can be brought together and show her who she is in many dimensions.
And what was her reaction to this?
Oh, she just loved it. You know, she still needs for me to talk about it with her more and give her some understanding, because it kind of blew her mind, you know.
Right. And how do people find you and know that you do this type of work?
Well, I have a website, BobbieStuart.com, and also you can find me on Facebook, and, you know.
And they can stay tuned to the credits at the end.
Stay tuned.
Yes. Yeah. Well, what can we talk about next? There's just so much
Okay.
here.
Gee, there
And
is.
this painting behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's see if Jen can get you from over there. You able to get that, Jen? All right. Good work. So, what's going on in this painting?
Well, that's a meditative piece.
Would you call this
the
visionary
goddess.
art as well?
Yes, that's a goddess, and all of the colors around, and all of the strokes, each stroke of the color is energy, and you get this sense of her movement inwardly, upward and outward, expansion, oneness, the incredible
Well, and what I see
light.
is the connection downward and upward.
Right. It's always
heaven and
downward
earth.
and upward. Yes.
Heaven and earth.
Heaven and earth together. Yes.
Yeah, and the colors here is like her body and the energy flowing, a good flow.
The chakras are indicated in the colors there.
And there seems to be a peacefulness.
Very much so. Very much. Yes. She's really a symbol of inner peace, that state of complete union, oneness.
And how do you know when your painting's done?
Well, it kind of tells you when it's done, because if you do too much, then you wish you hadn't, because it's overdone.
Well,
know.
they say, over sharpen the knife, you dull the blade, or light that is
Something
too bright
like
is
that, yes.
blinding. That's from the
Absolutely.
Tao Te Ching.
Yes, because you just do so much, and it's like there's something that goes like, just like when I'm doing some writing, and if I know that it's just right, it'll just
Not a word more.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like a good meal. You know, it's like if you have one more bite, it's like it just ruins it.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have some of these dolls.
Oh, they're masks.
Masks, yeah. Okay.
I've done, years ago I did some theatrically, you know, for show, but these
For
are...
which shows? Any one?
Oh, nothing you'll remember. But this one has, you can look through the eyes, and they can hang on walls, be guardians.
Have you ever had like an art show?
I've had many exhibitions and art shows, and there are even a few people who collect my work.
Oh, wow. I know. An original.
Yeah, so that's exciting. But,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not too interested in exhibitions. I really want these pieces to be placed where they serve in the environment to bring energy and balance.
Hey, you ever thought of donating one to Infinity?
I don't know where they'd put it. Well, maybe with the expansion, yeah.
Yeah, all right. And you also do sacred ceremonies.
Yes, I do.
So tell us, our audience, about the sacred ceremonies you lead.
Well, I do ceremonies for every occasion, be it baby blessing, marriages, divorces, house
Can you marry people?
blessings. I can marry people if they're first married legally, and then I do a whole ceremony with them, yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, if there's a death, then to bring blessings to that soul. There's just so many different blessings and ceremonies, and constantly.
And do you use, do you make an altar? Do you use song, instruments, etc.?
Actually, to me, then the space becomes an altar. It becomes sacred space, and I use whatever calls to me for that particular ceremony. Sometimes I'll use a pitcher of water with rose petals and wash the hands of the people, like symbolically washing their hands, washing their feet, cleansing them. Maybe using drums, using fabric.
Any like meditation or?
Always meditation. It's
Okay.
always done in a meditative state. And, you know, there's preparation for every ceremony.
And where did you learn how to do sacred ceremonies?
It's just a gift, I guess. I don't know.
Same way you learned how to write and do art.
I don't know. It's just, see, I work for God. And so I just get all these attunements, and I just have to follow whatever comes, you know? I mean, for a while I was doing healing work, and then it just kind of
What
segued
kind
into something else.
What kind of healing work were you doing?
Well, I became a Reiki master years ago, and a Marielle, and everything there was to study. I did study it in all the energy forms, and then I just became a spiritual healer, gifted to do that. But I only do that in conjunction with counseling for spiritual growth, because that's the way it works.
And are any of your children following your path?
Well, not so much. They're very creative. They're all creative in some way. My daughter used to be a professional dancer, but I have one grandson who wants to be a shaman. That's actually what he desires, and he's a multi-instrumentalist, and he's a beautiful artist.
How old is this grandson?
He is 16.
Oh, wow. So
Yep.
he's not a young man.
No. So,
That's great. So he could already be studying with shaman or apprenticing.
well, he goes to some places within himself.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and then I have another grandson who's starting college in marketing. So, yeah, and then a new baby granddaughter.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, do you do jewelry? Any chance you did your earrings?
I did not. The sea did these. These are mother of pearl. Many years ago I did jewelry, but it just sort of went into it and then went into something else.
And I know you do dolls, or at least have done dolls, because I've seen them. They still are etched in my mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was very, very impressive. And I know you did the artwork for your husband's, Doug's
Yeah.
CD, and
Yeah.
I understand he won a award.
He won a Parents' Choice Award for his wonderful music, and we've also written some books, and there will be a storybook coming out. This is some of my illustrations to the book about Honey Bun Bunny, how she got her name and didn't learn to whistle.
And that's beautiful. And what is this drawn on?
Well, this is just drawing paper. It's bristlebored.
And do you use a special pen?
Well, I like a special pen, but it's not a...
Or pencil? Or?
Yeah, I use pen and colored pencils, and Prismacolor and watercolor pencils, and then sometimes I use little paint.
And how long does it take you to produce something like that?
Well, it took me a year to produce all of these,
Mm-hmm.
so it takes a long time.
Well, I assume you're working on other projects too, or
Yeah, but yeah.
what do we have here?
Well, that's just, it takes place in a little forest called the Smallish Woods,
Mm-hmm.
and so this is just...
That looks like a big forest.
Well, compared to a bigger forest, it's a small...
Yeah.
And that's the Miss Honey Bun Bunny's little cottage. So, anyway.
Is there going to be music with that?
Well, that's always been the problem, is how to put the music in the book.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we got 2 minutes, Bobbie.
Okay.
Is there anything particular you want to hit on before we go?
Ooh, well, I want to say life is an incredible journey, and I have been on one. I have been homeless 3 times in my life. I've been a single mother with 3 children on welfare. I've been disabled for several years, and I want to say that it's all part of the amazing journey, and that, if you just stay with the thread of grace and faith, you'll come through it.
And so how does, you're more evolved and consciously aware today than ever before, but how, with your young mother with 3 kids, you're just worried about
survival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say it shaped you and made you into the person today. There's this Russian proverb, a hammer shatters glass but forges steel. And so instead of those difficult experiences shattering you, they forged you into what you are today.
I like that.
Yeah. And now, do you teach meditation?
Yes, I teach meditation, and I would love for you to be my student if you would like.
Really? All right. Well, we've got to wrap it up. For more information about Bobbie, Infinity Foundation, and her Quest show, stay tuned to the credits at the end. Until next time, wish you good health, good spirits, and good fortune. Bobbie, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
For more information about this show, our guests, Infinity Foundation, or any of our other programs, please visit our website, infinityfoundation.org, or call us at 7-831-8828.